وعجل أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. Yesterday we were talking about the signs of the reappearance, and we ended off with the hadith of Sahib al-Zaman Ajal Fajr al-Sharif, or in better terms the letter that he had sent to his last deputy, where he stated that if anyone claimed to have seen him before the occurrence of a sayha, the great shout or the great scream, and before the appearance of the Sufyani, then know that he is nothing but a liar. Which means that before that there could not be anyone who is his specific deputy. Because we said Sahib al-Zaman alayhi salam in the era of occultation can be seen. However, he's not necessarily recognized by the person who's seeing him. And thus the narration says that when he reappears, many will say that we have seen this individual before. We've seen him, but they did not recognize that this was the Imam Ajal Allah Farajahu al-Sharif. In fact, one of our scholars says that he has to be present among the people, because the du'as that we do for him indicate that he's present among them. He is not isolated in some cave or mountain away from them. He could be at times isolated, but he also has to be around us at other times. Because when we say, for example, Allahumma ahfadhu, oh Allah protect him, or in the famous dua, Allahumma kulli waliyika al-Hujjat ibn al-Hasan, waliyan wa hafidha, fi hadhihi sa'a, fi kulli sa'a, waliyan wa hafidha. Waliyan means a guardian, hafidha means a protector. So we're telling Allah, oh Allah, please protect him in this hour and in all hours, meaning at all times protect the Imam. So the scholar says, if the Imam is isolated and he's not among the society, then what are we asking Allah to protect him from? Protect him from what? Allah Azza wa Jal obviously will extend the life of the Imam, because the Imam has a mission that he has to accomplish. Filling the earth with justice and equity will only be accomplished by the 12th successor of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. And this was known, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This was known to the prophets of God, to the Imams themselves, that the 12th Imam will be the one who will accomplish this mission. So we can come to the conclusion that the Imam will not be killed or will not die until he fulfills his goal. But can we say that the Imam will not be wounded until then, or the Imam will not be pushed or shoved or bruised? We can't say that. And so we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to protect him, alayhi salam, because there is a possibility that he might be in danger at certain times. And this is also a reason why it is recommended to pay sadaqah and to intend that the sadaqah, you're paying the sadaqah for the protection of the Imam alayhi salatu wassalam. And so when you pay sadaqah, always intend that you're paying it, number one, for the protection of our Imam, number two, for the protection of your close family members and all mu'min and mu'minat, and number three, for yourself. So the Imam tells us, anyone who claims to have seen me, meaning to have seen me and to be my specific deputy before the sayha and before khuruj al-Sufyani, before the appearance of al-Sufyani, is a liar. Now, the first sign mentioned in this letter is sayha, and it has been mentioned in several ahadith, where there will be a great shout, a great call that will be heard by all the creations of God on earth, all the human beings, all the jinns, all the angels alayhi salam, even the inhabitants of the skies will hear the call. Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam in a narration informs al-Mufaddal ibn Umar. Mufaddal is the same person that has a book known today to be the tradition of Mufaddal. Imam al-Sadiq tells him alayhi salam that Sahib al-Zaman will enter Mecca alayhi salam, And when the day starts and the sun rises and it shines, a call will be heard by the inhabitants of the skies and by all those on the earth, meaning all the humans and all the jinns will hear the call. What will it say? It will speak in an Arabic tongue, meaning in Arabic language, and it will be very clear, saying, Ya ma'shar al-khalaiq, hada Mahdi Ali Muhammad. O creations, this is the Mahdi, this is the guided one from the progeny of Muhammad. This call, of course, occurs when? It occurs when the Imam reappears, when the Imam is beside the Kaaba, and so the caller is pointing to that Mahdi who is beside the Kaaba. هذا مهدي آل Muhammad, and then he mentions his lineage from Imam al-Hasan to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. So he says as an example, this is the Mahdi from the progeny of Muhammad, who is the son of Hassan, who is the son of Ali, who is the son of Muhammad, who is the son of Ali, who is the son of Musa, who is the son of Ja'far, who is the son of Muhammad, who is the son of Ali, who is the son of Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. This same Hussein that has caught the attention of the world today. You'll realize that when Ashura kicks in, when Ashura starts, when Arba'een, when we get close to the Arba'een, the 40th day after Ashura, even the Western media sheds some light upon Ziyarat al-Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. And so little by little people are getting to know who is Imam al-Hussein, and that there is a martyr in Karbala that we consider holy. There is a successor of Rasulullah that was killed oppressively in Karbala. And then you'll realize that when Imam al-Mahdi makes out his call, saying, O people of the world, my grandfather Hussein was killed thirsty, the people at that moment will be able to connect that same Hussein that was visited in Arba'in is the Hussein that Imam al-Mahdi is speaking about when he shouts to the world, O people of the world, my grandfather Hussein was killed thirsty, alayhi salam. And so the call tells the people, this is the Mahdi from Al Muhammad, and mentions his lineage up to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Then it says, بَايِعُوهُ تَهْتَدُوا, pledge allegiance to him and you will be guided. وَلَا تُخَالِفُوا أَمْرَهُ فَتَضِلُّوا, do not disobey him or else you will go astray. The narration says the first group to come down and pledge allegiance to Imam and to kiss his hand are the angels of God alayhimus salam, followed by the jinns. The jinns come and pledge allegiance to the Imam, because as you know, our Imams alayhimus salam are Imams for ins and jinn, for humans and jinns. The Quran did not only challenge the humans, the Quran challenged the jinns, and it is clear, the challenge is clear when you look at the verse that says, قُلْ لَإِنِ اجْتَمَعَتِ الْإِنسُ وَالْجِنُّ عَلَىٰ أَن يَأْتُوا بِمِثْلِ هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ. Say, O Muhammad, if the humans and the jinns were to combine forces in order to bring forth something like the Quran, they will not be able to. So it is a challenge to the jinns as well. Surah Al-Rahman addresses who? It addresses the Thaqalan. Thaqalan means humans and jinns. And so the Imams, our Imams are Imams for humans and jinns. The jinns pledge allegiance, then they will be followed by the 313 who will pledge allegiance to the Imam, and they will say, Sami'na, we have heard the call, wa ata'na, and we have obeyed. Now this is the first call. On the same day as the day is ending, as the sun is setting, another call comes out, also heard by all human beings. If we're there, inshallah, we live that long to see that day, we will hear that call. The caller at this moment will be a shaitan. The shaitan or a shaitan, at least we can say, because he will be calling towards evil. He will say, Ya ma'shar al-khalaiq qad dhahara rabbukum bil-wadi al-yabis. O creations, your Lord has appeared in a valley called the Dry Valley, Wadi al-Yabis, which is a location today in Palestine. He tells them, your Lord has appeared in Wadi al-Yabis, in the land of Palestine, and he is Uthman, son of Ambasa. He is the Umayyad from the progeny of Yazid, son of Muawiyah. This is none other than As-Sufyani, Uthman ibn Anbasa. فَبَايِعُوهُ تَهْتَدُوا. Pledge allegiance to him, and you will be guided, and do not disobey him, or else you will go astray. The angels and the jinns and the 313 respond back to the scholar, and they say, سَمِعْنَا وَعَصَيْنَا. We've heard, but we will disobey your call. Because they know this is the call of the shaitan, not the call of Allah. The call of Allah is the first call, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it will be called by Jibreel, salamullahi alayhi. And so, now the narration says, after the second call, anyone with disbelief in their hearts, anyone who is a hypocrite, anyone who has hypocrisy, anyone who has doubt, anyone who has raib is a light type of doubt, will fall into the trap of the second call, meaning they will be deviated because of the second call. Another narration informs us that there is a call in Shahr Ramadan on the 23rd night, which is Laylatul Qadr al-Kubra, the major night of destiny. On that night, Jibreel will call out, alayhi salam. And before I tell you what he calls out, this Jibreel is quite fascinating, salamullahi alayhi, because you realize he keeps on calling out different calls, and a lot of his calls involve Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali bin Abi Talib alayhi salam. The love that he has. The love that he has for Imam Ali alayhi salam is truly tremendous. He calls out, La fata illa Ali, wa la sayfa illa dhul fiqar on day of Uhud. When Imam Ali is struck, tahaddamat wallah arkanul huda. Now on the 23rd night of Shahr Ramadan, he calls out, Ala inna al-haq ma aliyin wa shi'ateh. Truth is with Ali and his Shi'as. Now this call again is followed by another call. Who is it? The main deviator, the man behind the misguidance, right? Iblis. He calls out, Ala inna al-haq ma Uthman wa shi'ateh. Truly, truth is with Uthman and his Shi'as. Now possibly he means Uthman, he means the known Uthman, the third caliph, or he's talking about the new Uthman, the Sufyani, because his name is Uthman ibn Hanbasa. So again, it's a test. Now, what do we do if we hear both calls? For us, we know the narration, we've heard it, and when we hear both calls, it shouldn't be a problem for us. Why? Because we're already expecting both. And so when we, Shias of Ahlul Bayt, followers of Ahlul Bayt, we hear both calls, we shouldn't go astray, because the second call just proves the Imams to be right. Because Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam, he's foretelling the future. He's telling you there's going to be two calls, right? A good call and an evil one. So when you hear both, that should emphasize your belief in Ahlul Bayt. That should confirm your belief in Ahlul Bayt even more, because the Imams ﷺ were truthful in what they said. And so the second call for us followers of Ahlul Bayt should not cause us to deviate. It should cause us to follow the first one even more. This is why you see the 313, they respond back. They say, Sami'na, we've heard the call, wa asayna, but we will disobey, because they have strong iman in the Ahlul Bayt, strong iman in Sahib al-Zaman, Ajal Allah Ta'ala Faraj al-Sharif. Allahumma salli ala. If I want to give you an example to clarify what I mean, I'll tell you, look, think about the Khawarij, al-Mariqeen. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam foretold their existence, that there will be Muslims who will be Mariqeen, who will depart from this religion as fast as an arrow pierces through its target. Right? Mariqeen. He foretold that Imam Ali will fight them, and that he will defeat them in Nahrawan. And he foretold that only 9 of them will remain alive, and that only 9 people from Imam Ali's troops will die in Nahrawan. Now all of these are types of miracles for the Prophet. He's foretelling the future, right? Foretelling the unseen. But he's speaking about evil. Mariqeen, they're evil people. However, when we saw that the Mariqeen actually came, and that Nahrawan actually occurred, and that 9 people were left from the Khawarij, and only 9 people were killed from Imam Ali's side, all of that confirmed our belief in Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi, proving to us that he was a Sadiq al-Ameen, that he was the truthful, the trustworthy, and that he was a true prophet of God. But what do we do with the people that don't know Sahib al-Zaman? The narration says, after everyone hears the call, the people will begin speaking about this call. They will ask each other about it. Some will inform, some will ask. And it is quite obvious that people will ask about it. Because imagine you have people, for example, in Japan, people in, let's say, Thailand, or in China, or in Brazil, who don't know Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, and they're hearing this call that the Mahdi has reappeared. Obviously they're supposed to ask. The problem is that they're going to hear the second call. If I or you were in their shoes, what should we do not to be deviated? What should we do to guarantee we stay on the right path? Well, first and foremost, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is fair. And Allah does not test anyone with an unfair test. And the second call, to be honest, it is a test for human beings. It is a test. Just like every day in our lives. However, let us remember the calf of Bani Israel. Allah Azza wa Jalla did not mention the calf for just randomly. There is a wisdom behind mentioning the calf. Again, Samiri brought the calf. The calf was made from gold, but it had khuwar, it was making the noise of a calf. Was that enough to deviate Banu Israel? It wasn't enough. If they used their intellects, and if they returned to Harun alayhi salam, the infallible prophet, they would not have fell into the trap of the Samiri. Similarly, when the human beings hear the second call, the call of shaitan, if they use their intellects, and they return to the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, if they at least compare between both calls, they compare between the Mahdi alayhi salam and between the cursed Sufyani, they see this person's actions and that person's actions, this person's words and that person's words, and how Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam will perform miracles from God Azza wa Jal, and Sufyani won't be able to perform any miracles, then they will know who is with the truth. In reality, brothers and sisters, whenever we go through a predicament, whenever we're going through some sort of shubha, we're facing some sort of misguidance, and we're not sure what is the right way to go, we're supposed to use aql, intellect. Think for yourself, as we said a few days ago. Think with this beautiful intellect Allah has given you, and return to the Quran and the Ahlul Bayt, the holy scripts. You will never go astray. The Prophet said it, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as long as you attach to them both, you will never go astray. And he is a Sadiq al-Ameen. Realize what the Quran says in Surah Al-Mulk. Quran tells us that there will be groups of people entering hellfire, group after group, group after group. Now, every time a group enters hellfire, the guardians of hell ask them, they tell them, أَلَمْ يَأْتِكُمْ نَذِيرٌ? Didn't Allah send you a warner, someone to warn you? They say, Bala, we did. Someone did come to us and warn us, but كَذَّبْنَا, we denied their words. We said Allah has not descended anything. Then Allah Azza wa Jal shows us that the people of hell confess to themselves. What do they say? They say, لَوْ كُنَّا نَسْمَعُ أَوْ نَعْقِلْ مَا كُنَّا فِي أَصْحَابِ السَّعِيرِ. If we used to use our intellects, or we used to listen to others, we would not have been in hell today. Realize? Aql, intellect, or isma. Listen to who? Not to anyone. Listen to Quran. Listen to Ahlul Bayt. Keep your ear open for the imams. Do not be stubborn. This is why it's really important. And our parents, ever since we're this short, they tell us, don't be stubborn in life. Always listen to your elders. Always listen to people who will give you good advice. Listen to scholars. Listen to believers. Listen to the Ahlul Bayt. You will not fall in hellfire. The people of hellfire, they regret. They say, only if we use our minds. Only if we listen to people, we would not have been here today. SubhanAllah, but it was too late. And so, brothers and sisters, when the second call is heard, the call of the shaitan, one should not directly follow that call. Remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He only tests us with a fair test, number one. And remember that the first call is the main one. This came after the first call. Realize? Just as Banu Israel saw the miracles of Musa alayhi salam first, then they were tested with the calf. The human beings will hear the call of Jibreel at the beginning, then they will be tested with the call of Iblis. May Allah curse him. Now this is one of the main signs that occur before the reappearance of Sahib al-Zaman, Ajla Fajr Sharif. Some try to understand it or try to give an example of how this scream or this shout could occur, saying that, well, today we have the news. You know, you go on CNN and you hear someone giving a message. You go on CTV, you'll hear a certain piece of information. But can we say that the shout will be on the news? Can we say that this holy scream that the Imams are talking about is basically a human being getting up and holding a microphone and saying, "O people of the world, Sahib al-Zaman has reappeared"? We cannot say that. You know why? Because I'll give you various reasons. Number one, because anyone can give a message on the news, but that's not a miracle. The scream has to be done in a miraculous way so that people could have yaqeen that Imam al-Mahdi has reappeared. Number two, if you speak on the news, will everyone hear you? What if I shut the TV? What if I don't have a TV home? Can I hear you? I can't hear you. What if I'm sleeping? I can't hear you, right? But the narration says everyone will hear it. Whether you're at school or at work or in the masjid or somewhere else, you will hear that sign. You will hear the call. Even if you're on Mars, you'll hear it. Even the astronauts will hear it. Because the narration said, يَسْمَعُهُ أَهْلُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرَضِينَ. All the people in the skies, all the inhabitants of the skies and the earth will hear the call. Now the second sign that the Imam mentioned was Khuruj al-Sufyani, the appearance of Sufyani. Sufyani is a title, and it is not a name. The name of this individual is Uthman, son of Hanbasa. The narrations have described him in detail. They've told us, as for his physical appearance, he's of average height, not too long, not too short. One might ask, why are the Imams going into such detail? Because as I told you, they don't want to leave you in darkness. They want to clarify everything for you. And they know that you, as a follower of Ahlul Bayt, you will be waiting for this person to appear. Sufyani, every once in a while when some terrorist groups pops up in the Middle East, we ask, is it the Sufyani or not? Because we're still waiting for him, right? The Imam tells us, alayhi salam, if you want a Mahdi, there has to be a Sufyani. There cannot be a reappearance without the presence of a Sufyani. So it is a must. It is a definite sign. He is of average height. He has blue eyes and an ugly face. Ajabakumullah. Now his inner features are even worse. One who despises the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, he will come and he will have a kingdom in Damascus. He will join between 5 different locations. He will rule over Jordan, Palestine, Damascus, Hams, and Qanasrin. So all of those will be one kingdom when the Sufyani appears. He will rule over there. The narrations tell us the first month or two he will not be paying much attention to the followers of the Ahlul Bayt because he'll be busy fighting with other enemies. But after the first or second months are done, then may Allah help the followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. Because he begins following anyone who's called Muhammad or Ali or Hassan or Hussein and shedding their blood. He calls out in Kufa, anyone who brings me the head of a lover of Ali ibn Abi Talib will be granted 1,000 dirhams. The narration says the people begin backstabbing each other because they know each other, right? Even the neighbor comes up to the forces of Sufyani and tells them, my neighbor is a lover of Ali. And so they go and kill him and they grant him 1,000 dirhams. He will shed a lot of blood and kill a lot of Shias. He will enter Baghdad, the narration says. He will even reach Kufa and kill from the people of Najaf, unfortunately. After entering Baghdad, Kufa, and Najaf, he sends 2 armies. One army he sends it towards Damascus and the other one towards Medina, Saudi Arabia today. Now before I continue with Sufyani, you have to keep in mind that there are good forces that will come out as well, as we will say. So it's not only the evil forces that will be working. There will be also good forces repelling the Sufyani and teaching his army a good lesson, as we can say. So now he'll send one army to Damascus and the other towards Medina. His army will enter Medina, and just like his grandfather Yazid, may Allah curse them both, they will cause mischief in Medina for 3 days, killing people, violating the sanctity of Medina and its people. Then they will head towards Mecca. Now, on their way towards Mecca, they end up in a desert, Bayda. When they end up in the desert, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends an angel. The narration says his army, that army that will be in the Bayda, in the desert, will be around 300,000 soldiers. Allah Azza wa Jal will send an angel, and the angel will call out, Ya ardun khasifi biha'ula'i al-lu'ana. O land, open yourself and swallow these cursed people. So the earth will open and will swallow the army of Sufyani, leaving only 2 people alive. The first one is named Bashir, it's a title of course, and the other one is Nadir. These 2 people, the angels come forth to them, and they twist their heads so much that their faces become where? Right over their backs. And the first one, Bashir, is sent to Imam al-Mahdi. He's told, go to the Mahdi and inform him that the army of Sufyani has been swallowed up by the earth. And as for the other one, Nadir, he's told, return to the Sufyani, warn him, and tell him that his army has been swallowed up by the earth. They both go. Now, the Nadir, when he reaches Sufyani, unfortunately the Sufyani, again because of his arrogance, he does not learn his lesson. And so he returns to Kufa and begins committing a lot of bad deeds, mischief, corruption. By that time, our Imam Ajla Fajr Sharif will have reappeared. And so Imam al-Mahdi's forces reach Kufa. Sufyani runs away from Kufa, and the forces of the Imam follow him until they find him in Palestine, specifically in Jerusalem, and he gets beheaded, and his filthy soul leaves this world, going to Jahannam. May Allah curse him and all of his followers. This is the Sufyani. Now what's interesting about Sufyani is that the narrations told us he must come out with 2 other individuals. It's like a triangle. A triangle has 3 sides. Can I have 2 or 4, right? There has to be this triangle of Sufyani, Yamani, and Khurasani. Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam says, خروج الثلاثة الخرساني والسفياني واليماني في سنة واحدة في شهر واحد في يوم واحد. All 3, Sufyani, Khurasani, and Yamani, they all come out on the same year, same month, and same day. That is one way you will be able to tell that this person is the Sufyani. Today you might have people who are claiming to be Yamani. Tomorrow we might have people claiming to be Khurasani. Because ultimately we have what we call wannabes, right? They want to be these people. And they've read narrations, they've heard that, oh, there's a special person called Yamani or Khurasani. And so he imagines himself to be that person and wants to deviate people. Whoever claims to be one of those 3 brothers or sisters, tell him you're a liar unless you can bring us the 2 other ones. All 3 must come out at the same time. We don't have a Yamani without a Sufyani and Khurasani, and vice versa. So do not lie, whoever is claiming to be Yamani, of course. Do not try to deviate us because we are smarter than you. Ahl al-Bayt have told us they all have to come out at the same time. The interesting thing about Yamani is that the Imam says, لَيْسَ فِيهَا رَايَةٌ بِأَهْدَى مِنْ رَايَةِ الْيَمَانِ. The banner of Khurasani and the banner of Yamani, we can both consider them as good banners. However, the one who has most guidance under his banner is the Yamani. That's what the narration says. And it says, because he calls to the truth. In another narration, because he calls to your Imam. He's calling for Imam al-Mahdi, meaning he has a sincere intention. Khurasani, his forces will be good as well. The narrations say that his forces will have short black flags, and they will come from the east, from Khurasan, right? So Iran or similar territories, surrounding territories. Those forces will come from there, and they will fight with the Sufyani. And part of his army will be with Imam al-Mahdi al-Sharif. However, it seems that the Khurasani, the individual himself, his intention is not as sincere as Yamani. And for that reason, the narration said, Yamani's raya, the banner of Yamani, has more guidance under it. More guidance is found under that banner. Yamani comes out from Yemen, and he will be a Sayyid from the progeny of Zayd ibn Ali. Zayd, the brother of Imam al-Baqir, alayhi salatu wassalam, according to narrations. And it appears that he will be so strong that he will be able to instill fear in the heart of the Sufyani. He will be able to preoccupy and to worry the Sufyani, may Allah curse him. As for the Khurasani, he will be a Sayyid from the progeny of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. Once the Mahdi reappears alayhi salam, Khurasani will follow Imam al-Mahdi al-Sharif and will pledge allegiance to him. Now, last but not least, the narrations also mention a few other signs. One of them is khasfun fil bayda, that the desert will open. And that is the sign I just mentioned, when the Sufyani's army will be swallowed by the earth. That is also one of the definite signs before the Dhuhr. Another definite sign is Yamani himself, as we said, and also qatl al-nafs al-zakiyya, a pure soul that will be killed. And I want to conclude, maybe we have 1 more minute left. I'll conclude very quickly with this person. He is a person who is a Sayyid, who is from the progeny of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam. And one of my scholars told me that he is Hassani, from the progeny of Imam al-Hassan. He will be Zakiyya, he will have a pure soul, and will abandon Iraq when the forces of Sufyani reach Iraq. He will leave, and he will run away from Iraq, and he will reside in Medina. Now when the cursed forces of Sufyani turn to Medina, he will run away again, and he'll end up in Mecca. Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam will send this person, Nafs al-Zakiyya, his own relative, he'll send him with a message. And the message will be basically to call for Imam al-Mahdi. He's going to call the people to help the Ahlul Bayt and to answer the call of Sahib al-Zaman, Ajlat ala Farj al-Sharif. Unfortunately, he will be slaughtered. But when you hear where and when, it is disgusting, to be honest. He will be slaughtered between al-Rukn wal-Maqam, between the Maqam of Ibrahim and the black stone, right beside the Kaaba. He'll be slaughtered over there. When? On the 25th of Dhul Hijjah, on a month that we consider haram, a sacred month, in the sacred land, beside the sacred house. And he's a pure individual, Nafs Zakiyya, an individual loved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His blood will be shed. The narration says, once they shed his blood, Allah will give them only 15 nights. By then, the Dhuhr will occur, inshallah ta'ala, which means Imam al-Mahdi will reappear on the 10th day of Muharram. 10th day, on the day of Ashura. May Allah hasten his reappearance and make us from his sincere followers in the ghaiba and after the Dhuhr. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Sallallahu ala Mustafa Muhammadin wa alihi al-Tahirin. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Wa iyyakum.